How does he get headphones and we don't? What kind of fucking shit is this?
We're a small startup company.
We can only afford one pair of headphones.
Yeah, we can't afford multiple.
I mean,
headphones.
I can't even.
We're putting all of our money back into.
I can't even have to get a scripted intro. Like, we're really like fucking jacked up.
Hey, oh, hey, oh.
You are now tuned in to the best roofing podcast in the world.
The Roof Trollz. Here we go, here we go, here we go, yo.
But hey, everyone, how's it going today? Welcome to the Trollz Podcast. We have the pleasure today to have with us Mike Cortes from National Adjusters, and we're going to talk a little bit about what National Adjusters does, his background, and just have some typical Roof Trollz fun. So, Mike Cortes, how's it going today?
Good. Thank you guys for having me today.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, maybe your background, what got you into this industry, and go from there.
Yeah, so I started off as a public adjuster about 6 years ago. I actually worked for a construction company out of Valpo. That's where I met my buddy over here, Elijah. He's actually the one that hired me as an estimator. We went from there, and the rest is history. Got my PA license, advocating for the insured, and
Well, what is a PA license? So, I mean, there might be somebody out there listening that has no idea what a PA license is.
yeah. So public adjuster is a advocate for the policyholder. So we represent homeowners with property insurance claims.
That's representation, something that they need.
Yeah. So in my opinion, now in the industry, proper representation is a key item for you to get your home approved after a loss.
What does that mean by getting your home approved?
Home approved is as in, like, let's say there was a hailstorm, windstorm, or a fire, unfortunately, at someone's property. A lot of what happens is that the insurance company will go out, do their assessment, and severely underpay the claim. So it's very key to have proper representation from the start, so you can kind of show the insurance company and detail and highlight all the loss throughout the process.
Now, when we talk about national adjusters, it's probably important to note that it's not just one area. So we reside in Northwest Indiana, and I know that you're licensed out here to be a public adjuster. I believe you carry that license in Illinois as well. Can you explain kind of the rules per area, and then how many areas are you guys covering right now as national adjusters? Like, how many states are you guys actually helping contractors?
Yeah, so we're actually licensed in Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, Tennessee, and Michigan. We just kind of merged with a company called Bright High Solutions, which brought us 2 more states, which is Arizona and Ohio. We're exclusively a PA company. A lot of Illinois has a special rule with the whole public adjusting, where you can be a contractor and a public adjuster in the same state. Every other state is you have to be either one or the other. So our company kind of separates us, especially in Illinois, that we're strictly public adjusting, and that's it. No contractor or public adjusting on the same claim.
And when would you say, like, a contractor would even need national adjusters? Like, I mean, when would it be necessary for not just us as a contractor, but like for a homeowner, let's say? Like, what can, what signs are there? Like, when do they make the move to go to public adjuster route?
Well, I think especially, like I said, in today's time with the whole insurance process, it's very key to get a public adjuster involved from the start, right? We do know that some of the insurance companies are harder to get stuff approved necessarily. So I think it's very important. What we do at National, we have a proof of loss sent with every single, before we even file the claim, we have the homeowner sign a proof of loss for the insurance company to acknowledge that there's a loss to this property. It kind of starts the time clock because the policy states that you must have a sworn statement proof of loss on a claim. So
the proof of loss is just basically the homeowner acknowledging that the storm came through on said date and did damage that you're actually claiming on that date as well.
Yep.
Well, before you guys get, I think it's like you're grilling them. Why would it be advantageous for a homeowner? You keep saying, like, because it's harder to get bought and things like that. Like, what is it? Why is it hard to get bought? Why aren't, I think most people think if they call their insurance, they're going to get taken care of.
Having the proof of the damage and having a good assessment of the damage from the start starts off your claim in a good start, right? So, for example, when a normal person files a claim, he'll say, I have hail damage to my siding. You call it into the insurance company. Insurance company goes out and assesses the damage to the siding. A lot of times, the insurance company only assesses the damage that they see on what you said was damage, right? So when we do our assessment as a public adjuster, we do an assessment on the roof, we do an assessment on the siding, gutters, everything on the property that we see that there's physical direct damage to it. We document it and we send our estimate before the insurance company even comes out to the property.
So what you're saying is like if they came out by themselves, like so one of like a homeowner or even let's say myself, I call them out and when I tell them over the phone what I think needs to be looked at, they're only going to pretty much look at that little bit that I talked about.
Whatever you're claiming that there was damage to.
Yeah, no, I want to go back to the coming out part. So, full disclosure is we work as contractors through the insurance. Our navigation process is far different than yours is. Are they, they're sending people out here, but are these people that they're sending out here actually with the insurance companies? I think that's important. That might be part of the reason it's so difficult right now when taking out a claim if you don't have representation or a public adjuster or a contractor if you don't want to hire a public adjuster or whatever route you're willing to go to as a homeowner. Going in it solo now is almost impossible. Yeah. Like, who are these people that are coming out for these claims?
So a lot of big insurance companies are sending out third-party inspectors. They're not even licensed to inspect the property and just they're pretty much called glorified picture takers, right? Have no interest, have no kind of training. I mean, they might pass an exam or a 3-day training course, but they have no licensing, nothing with the state to be inspecting the properties. They take the pictures for the adjusters out on the desk, and that's majority of why a lot of these claims are getting denied is because the adjuster that's actually making the coverage determination is not at the property.
I mean, you said that, and play devil's advocate, but if you guys are sending out proof of losses, you said you come out, you document everything. That's obviously good in the beginning. Advocate for like the homeowner, but if you have one of these, third-party people, and I'm, just putting it out there, if they're just out there taking photos, wouldn't it make it, you think, easier then for the person at the desk to make that decision? Like, because if this person's like impartial, right, they're supposed to be there,
Well, there was and this goes back to kind of like the 60-minute video that
we brought it up on a few episodes ago.
60-minute show that Stephen Bush, he's the lawyer advocating for the insured, highlighted that there was independent adjusters that would write up the damages on the property, and the desk adjuster rewrite that estimate to benefit the insurance company. So you kind of go with that as well. It's very important to have somebody on site that can make a determination for us to settle out a claim.
And you would hope that that's not the case of what we're running into. We know that every contractor in the world believes that any house that we go into a claim with has to be bought. This damage is here, and it's just not always that way because of the lack of training in the industry and a magnitude of other things go into that as well. But that's not always the case, and we hope that an insurance company, and we're not saying that they would, but we would hope that they definitely wouldn't be changing the paperwork after we do an adjustment or after you guys do an adjustment. But there is something to be said about that 60-minute episode because whatever they're doing with the third parties is making it extremely difficult for us to do our jobs and to make sure that the homeowner is being taken care of. These people being your insurance companies are taking your premiums and then they're making determinations on the damage that's on your actual home right now based solely off of what's in their budget. They don't really care what's on the property. They're sending out somebody to look at it for them so they can either, one, hide behind that estimate and create whatever they want to out of it, or two, just judge it off of pictures. And I think we've all been in the same situation before that you can make anything look one way depending on the way you take a picture. And some of these guys not being licensed, who knows what they're looking at? And they don't allow us to see these reports. So can you explain like that situation? So if someone comes out and you're in a disagreement with them, say a third party, what do you guys do on your end to combat that?
Well, I think the biggest thing too is for the insurance company does this, my opinion, to limit the liability on the insurance company, right? They're sending these 1099 third-party inspectors to go out and take pictures of damage, which, like I said, they have no licenses on, and they're pretty much making coverage determination without making coverage determinations, right? They're taking pictures of the property. If, let's say, this unqualified inspector goes out and takes pictures of mechanical damage, which, our adjusters are trained to be on the lookout for that.
Mechanical damage, for the record, is anything like wear and tear, normal wear and tear. Has nothing to do with storm-related damage.
Not storm-related damage. The insurance company then limits their liability, and if this person doesn't take the right pictures or presents something that's not, then your claim will be denied. That's why it's very important for us to have a adjuster out there that's actually licensed to make a coverage determination, so we can settle out the claim either at the actual site or right after we get home and create our estimates.
And they're not allowed to make a coverage determination, like you said, but you'll find them, they're combative out there. They'll tell you quickly something's not hail. They'll have some type of opinion to form on things. And I'm not saying they're all bad. Some are good. Some work in our favor that don't know what they're doing. We had a couple of them recently where we're up on the roof, which is like, there's a little bit here, not a lot. And this guy's going crazy, circling bird shit and pretending it's hail, and then, he's buying the roof. And I'm not saying that he didn't know any better. Maybe he was being funny. Maybe he didn't know any better. But these are people that we're depending on to make a determination if actual damage is on people's homes. And I think if more homeowners understood who they're sending and the qualifications of these people, I mean, these were delivery drivers 6 days ago, and now they're checking out your roof to see if it's got hail damage on it. That's crazy.
Yep, and I think the biggest part with that too is the homeowner also being involved in that process, right? So yes, we take care of the whole claims process to eliminate the headache of filing the claim and all of that, but also having the homeowner involved when the insurance company is trying to send out a third-party inspector that's not qualified to do an inspection on one of your biggest investments, right? Your home. It's also very important to be in our corner as well.
Here, let me make a point on something because Elijah had mentioned about policyholders, homeowners paying for a premium. So that means they're paying the insurance company to protect their home and everything. And then you had mentioned earlier about the carriers underpaying on claims. Now, why is that important then? We're giving their money as a policyholder. We all own homes, pay our policies, pay our premiums and everything. So why is that important for the customer to know that these carriers are underpaying these claims? Like, why does that benefit them? Why are they doing this to their policyholders? I think that's very important because we're paying them, anywhere from, $1,500 to $2,500, $3,000 a month in premiums. So why is that important that these customers understand that policy or their insurance is underpaying on these claims?
It's important because at the end of the day, they're a for-profit company, right? They have to make sure that their investors are making their returns. Right?
Not all the carriers are for profit. Like State Farm, they're not an example. They're not for profit.
Yeah, so it's important for them to, in my opinion, limit their liability on the amount. So when we go out and assess the damage, we create our estimate, right? So let's say our estimate comes out to rough ballpark $30,000. Letting the insurance company know that we've assessed the damage and we believe that there's $30,000 worth of damage on the property. When in turn, if you'd filed a claim on your own, the insurance company is going out there blindly, not knowing kind of what the amount of loss there is on the property. So they go out and they make their own determination of the loss, and not us or not the policyholder.
Well, you can kind of just call it what it is, man. They're in the business of making money.
Yep.
They're not multi-billion-dollar corporations for nothing.
Yeah, billions of dollars in profits and Super Bowl ads, Arnold Schwarzenegger. In your
Very special.
commercials. Yeah, Chris Paul. Yeah. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
There's just a ton of people that are in these commercials and making money, and it makes you question things, it really does. And they're not going to take care of a homeowner after 20 years of service with them because of the storms. And I get it. There are a lot of storms. This is a $300 billion a year industry. I fully understand that. But to not take care of someone who's been paying into it, it's wrong. And then you turn around and then you see, like I said, commercials with superstars and big actors and
Halftime shows.
Halftime shows. And they're sponsoring bowl games and stuff. And it's, where are your premiums going?
Yeah.
Shareholders there are making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, I've seen a lot of homeowners, dump the insurance companies too. Look at what's going on in Florida and California too. They're abandoning homeowners, like State Farm. They're pulling out on the tired of the wildfires, tired of the hurricanes. How do you just get tired of weather? Your insurance, dude. Like that's your responsibility to the homeowners.
Well, their losses are there. It's a bigger, higher risk area, so they're pulling out on those higher risk areas and going into the areas that not necessarily have that much higher of a risk, so they have better returns at the end of the year. But it's our job as the public adjuster to make sure what they wrote for in the policy, we're representing them on.
I mean, really at this point, well, I was going to say, like, where they're moving to these areas where there's not as much risk for them to have to pay out and everything. So even if they pay out on a hailstorm or a windstorm every 7-8 years, and if they're charging $2,000 a year for your premiums, and then your roof is $16,000, I mean, you basically paid for and financed your roof over those 7-8 years, plus them making all their interest and investing that money and everything. So they're still making money. So they found a way to pay for these roofs while still making money. And I mean, that's really what they're doing. They're making you finance your roof ahead of time.
Well, before I was in this industry, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't even know you can put a claim on for a roof, right? So like my parents, know a lot of homeowners too don't know that you can file a claim on your roof. I think that was the biggest thing. Like there's a lot of homeowners that are not taking advantage of. I'm not saying taking advantage, but not filing claims when there's damage to their property and they're coming out of pocket for
It's coming out of your pocket.
I know. for a roof, like paying out of pocket for a roof that's damaged by the storm, which they're insured for. At the end of the day, they're still having to pay the increased cost of premiums, even if they're neighbors, because all their neighbors are filing claims. So it's very important for us to like let the homeowners know, like, at the end of the day, your rates are still going to go up because there was a storm in your area. So take advantage and get your roof replaced.
Yeah, and what are we paying insurance for?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If a storm comes over the area, I tell a lot of my friends and even family members will question what I do. Everybody looks at storm restoration the same way, man. We're all storm chasers and complete door-to-door salesman scumbags.
Yeah.
We get it. But this is something that you do to take care of your property. You guys are paying for the insurance. So if something damages the home and it wasn't damaged to begin with, stop saying it's old. Stop saying, oh, well, it doesn't matter. I should have replaced it already. Stop. What have you been doing? You've been paying premiums. They owe it to you to at least look at it. Look at it if the storm damaged your home. I'm not saying now, keep in mind these 30 and 40-year-old roofs that we still run into, which is absolutely amazing every time that happens. 2 layers and the roof is easily 30, 40 years old and just crumbling everywhere. And those people now, when you're looking for the insurance to do some magic or something, that's not going to happen. But people who have legit, wind comes by and rips off 7 or 8 shingles and you put them back on and then it comes by again and now there's 9 shingles missing, and you maybe even try to put it back on again, and then it happens again, and you want to take a claim out, and they come out and they want to deny you. Like, those are the people that we do this for, like, you're doing things the right way. You've tried as much as you possibly can to mitigate damages, and then to still have to deal with this, it's heartbreaking sometimes. You go to these people's houses, dude. So we just always get looked at as scumbags, and then I think if people really step back and were like, knew the process, knew from start to finish where this whole thing goes, you would see that. And I'm not calling them enemies or us, and neither one of us is, but you would see how complicated this has become. It's no longer, hey, a storm happened here. I got some damage. Can you guys help me out? No, it's, well, when did it happen? What'd you do to mitigate it? What'd you document? Where's your video? Where's your picture? Where's your sworn statement? Where's your whatever? You got to go through this whole process and hire somebody. It's just like, why are they doing this to homeowners? Why is this like something that we even have to worry about now?
Like I said, it's a big tactic to limit their liability, especially in a big storm area. It's now defend, right? Once you file the claim and they try to get away from buying roofs. They ask you how old the roof is. When's the last time you replace it? So, like I said, there's a lot of things that the insurance company's now using to get away from paying out any claims, like floods, right? Like in Florida, that's a big thing. So, like I said, the industry is changing. The insurance company's hiring premiums every year, and they're getting harder and harder to work with. So
yeah, I saw an article on LinkedIn not too long ago. Some new verbiage that's being put in Texas it might be in Florida too, I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's going on in Texas. They're distinguishing, like they're taking contractors that they back, they being the insurance companies, and that's the only ones you're allowed to use. That's their network now in Texas, and some of these new policies that the homeowners, not even new policies, they're just adding stuff into them, and the homeowners are finding themselves in a position where they have to hire one of them to come out and do the repairs or do the replacement, but it has to be done through these companies. So
like get a stranglehold on it.
Well,
yeah, that's
it's like a what you call an HMO or a PPO insurance plan. So basically, you pay less, but then we're going to give you the contractor to do the roof. And some of those policies even have you don't pay a deductible. So you buy this policy, and I'm just going to use generic numbers. This policy is $1,000, but if something goes wrong, if there's a storm, if there's damage to your property, we'll give you the contractor. You don't pay your deductible. Now, if you want to have your choice and buy extra endorsements and have a deductible to pay when you choose your contractor, that policy could be like $2,000 plus $1,000 deductible or plus a percentage of the property value. So those policies, yes, they're really starting to happen down in the South, and we're going to start seeing that more industry wide. But I mean, they're taking that from the medical industry because you've already had that. You have your HMOs and your PPOs.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine it's going to take a little bit of time to put something together like that, though, too. But the bigger picture is, with all the liability that they have on their side, I think it'll be a little while before it makes its way up here. But with everything that they have going on, though, there's a lot of laws, like you alluded to earlier. In Illinois, you could be the contractor and the public adjuster, but we're not allowed to have our hands in both pots, and they're making it to where not only do they have it, but they're writing it in the policy as it's perfectly okay for them to do that. And it's just, I don't know, at what point in time do the contractors all just decide that, maybe they've had enough, and we go that route?
To me,
There's organizations. I mean, there's like CRCA and there's people. It's local contractors that aren't, everyone like where we're at in North Indiana. There's some guys that do it the right way. They're not, they don't badmouth other people. But then there's other guys that'll badmouth the company, underbid them. They'll pay for the work. Like they'd rather not make any money on the job just to have the work. And I mean, I can get that. Again, we're kind of, we own a roofing company to try to make sure our guys are working, but it affects all of us. And if we just would set a price and, and not try to gouge anybody, but hey, this is a fair market price, and then everyone followed suit, like it would make it easier for homeowners to be picking a contractor, right? I mean, if all things are equal, but they don't do that,
Yeah.
And workmanship obviously is important.
Well, you hit it on the head. If everything was equal, they would have no business, like the good contractors are the ones that do it the right way, the ones that have the highest ratings and stuff. They're the ones that would flourish in a system like that. So because of the fact that so many are doing it wrong and just going head to head with each other, just so unnecessary. And it's a constant battle that we always have with people. You want to flip jobs, you want to go out there and you want to do whatever, whatever it is that you think is necessary while bashing another company, only to find out that it's hurting us all as a whole. And that's why the insurance companies don't take us seriously. That's why it's so hard right now in retail. Even if you're soaring in retail, it's a challenge out there now. Everybody's willing to bid as low as they possibly can. There's companies out there that we see these bids for and we just let them go. And we're perfectly okay with that because there's no way that you're making any money on that end, Why is buying a job even in the thought process? That's just what have we done to get to this point?
yeah.
And what are we going to do, together, hopefully, to change this? How do we make roofing great again? Well, how do we do it though?
I think it's just, smarter and talk to other contractors when we see them and try to make it just known. Like we see other contractors. We know a bunch of contractors. I think it's just such a small knit community. I want to say lead by example, think of, our wives and our daughters. Try to just get, a new regime in so that everyone's rights are the same.
Yeah. And I think the importance,
I mean, we know.
Yeah, I have no clue what he's talking about.
Well, I do.
I don't know what he's talking about. Well, I mean, realistically, though, in my opinion, that we should just be the best we can be. And as long as we build out our profit margins so that we're profitable, we can take care of our customers, take care of our employees, and just always do the right thing. I mean, just be the best that we can be. Our only competition is ourselves. I mean, we don't have to worry about the other guys. Just be the best we can be, and others will start to follow. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember back in the early days of this, because I've been in the industry for a while, waiving deductibles it happened all the time. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen anymore, but I feel like now that more contractors have gotten smarter and educated, that they realize, oh my God, I'm losing all this money. So one company started, not waiving deductibles and saying, hey, I'm just going to put my, draw the line in the sand and not waive deductibles anymore. And more started doing it. So it just takes really someone to take that stand and say, hey, I'm going to be better, and people will follow.
Absolutely. I mean, it's breaking the law. As long as you don't want to be dealing with someone that breaks the law, right then and there will separate a lot of the contractors.
Well, not only breaking the law, but I think from my experience, I mean, I worked for a contractor before. I think the biggest thing too is like there has to be cutting corners somewhere, right? Absolutely. Within either materials or staff or whatever the case may be. There has to be some cutting corners by not charging the correct price, right?
Yeah, I mean,
or underbidding, right?
Well, because if they're going to start off the relationship and say, well, don't worry about this $1,000, I'll make it work. You know what they're going to do? They're going to make it work. They're going to find a way to save that $1,000 because I'm not losing that $1,000. And the customer's like, well, I saved $1,000, but my most important investment in my life, I've got cheaper products on my house, or I didn't do some of the work on the house.
The wall flashing, but they gave me $500 back.
Yeah, I got a leak coming in my bathroom. My ceiling's going to cave in, so I have to run home.
Too. Honestly, shame on the homeowner, because if you're willing to just waive, your obligation, you have to pay a deductible. You're getting a free roof out of this, free in the sense that you're only paying your deductible if everything goes right. You're getting your siding taken care of in some scenarios, gutters taken care of in some scenarios. Like, shame on you for trying to get out of paying your deductible. Unless you disclose that up front, and we had a conversation with the sales rep who went out of their way to make something happen with you or promised you the end of the world. I don't know those situations, but in a general sense, if we take a claim out together, you got a full approval. You knew going into that your obligation, and if you aren't willing to pay that at the end, then that says more about you than it does about us. Is what my sense is. Like, morally that you shouldn't be doing that as well. Outside of just the legality situations of it, are the provisions in the policy. Like, as a human being, you shouldn't do stuff like that. So like, that's probably not your customer anyway. Just the contractors listening, if that your customer's doing that, it's not your customer.
Well, is a doctor going to tell you, oh, don't worry, you don't have to pay your deductible? But I'll drop my, some of my tools in you when I'm, doing surgery on you. No, I mean, you're going to pay your deductible to a doctor every single time. And then one other thing with this, I mean, you can't just look at it as like, hey, let's say I got $20,000 and I need a new roof. Well, what if you wanted to do improvements on your house and do better products and everything? And we do offer a full line of upgrades for the customer. And for $10,000, let's say, if it brought your roof up to $30,000 and you get a designer shingle on your house, instead of paying $30,000, you're going to pay $10,000. So, I mean, that's a real win for the customer, because now you've got a better product on your roof. You got better warranties. And I mean, it's a little bit of money out of pocket, but you're going to save on your premium for the insurance. I mean, there's things that come along with it. You're going to get a longer life out of your roof. So that's the time to jump on it and run and make your improvements on yourself, and don't shortcut and not pay the deductible. Do the right thing.
Well, not only, and I mean, I want to mention this because a lot of people don't know also this about some certain policies that some insurance companies have. If once you replace your roof or siding or whatever the case may be, your premiums will actually go down because of the higher quality shingle that, you guys refer jobs to me, and I've seen that you guys replace all of your guys' roofs with a laminated shingle, right? That will drop the price on people's premiums. And let's say the homeowner wants to go with the category, what is it, level 3? I'm not familiar too much with shingles.
Yeah, so it's like class 3.
Like class 3, class 3 or class 4 impact resistant shingles. That their premiums will actually go down because it's a higher grade product on their property, right? It's going to be less sustainable to hail damage or wind damage than a regular laminate.
All that stuff, like, that starts with us, and that's kind of why a big part of how we all got together was being like-minded. Like, we're trying to educate people, not just with insurance, but with even like we're talking about now, like the products on your roof, why certain warranties actually can benefit you. I mean, we could go on. I mean, this is like we're talking about a whole bunch of different things now, opposed to just, talking about you and what your company does. But that's why I think we're kind of still excited about it, because we have so much to talk about to just get out to people, because they just don't know this stuff. Like, they don't know about public adjusters stuff. Like, there's still people out there that don't know how their homeowners insurance works.
How many construction companies are you working with currently?
Right now at the moment, well, we're not. They refer as work. Roughly 13.
Well, that's what I meant. Like you're helping out 13 different contractors. How many of them are local, if you don't mind me asking? You don't got to tell me the name. But how many?
Yeah, roughly like 5.
5.
But you don't want to know the names? Kidding,
No.
Yeah,
I'm sure I could ask, but no.
we extend service from Highland all the way to Goshen, Indiana.
Nice. And I that's all insurance.
All insurance.
Nice.
I mean, I know you're doing other states like Illinois,
Yep.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many other states do you guys actually?
We work in.
I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
he's playing on his phone. He's not paying attention. But yes, he did mention at the beginning.
Because we're still actually at work and someone has to do something here.
He put his hose in his upstairs bathroom, soaked out his floor. He's got some issues going on at his personal life right now. Are you not? Like, is that not a real
I
life?
personally might be calling you because I do, and that's why I'm gonna excuse myself here in another couple minutes. But yeah,
Yeah.
it
So
was fun.
yeah. Well.
He didn't put a hose on. I'm joking. What happened? The bathtub.
Apparently my bathtub is leaking, and wallpaper takes it off, and there's a bunch of water coming out. Pokes her finger through it, and now there's drywall ripping off of a house.
Denied.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So basically, it's everyday problems.
Yeah.
Nothing really going on at home.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to bail out on the podcast early because
No, you're
Come
right.
on.
Because my wife. and
nothing
kids
you
can't
said
take-
sounded serious.
'cause they
Yeah.
can't- there's water dripping where my bathtub is,
Okay.
Dripping.
and the ceiling,
Yeah. Don't you have animals?
the
Put their
ceiling,
dish under it.
ceiling above it, I'm worried now could fall.
Okay.
Hey,
And this. Oh. Okay.
weirder things have happened.
The ceiling's just gonna fall.
It's got that much water damage. I showed you the pictures.
Didn't you just have your roof replaced recently?
It's not my roof.
I'm just saying though, the whole ceiling's gonna. That's my point. Where's
My
the water
bathroom
damage
is on
coming
the
from?
top floor.
So
Bathtub.
damage.
So you could turn the water off and then.
That's what it. Yeah, you left the water on and it
already a
overflowed.
problem.
Well, now it is, but we're talking about things you could have done to prevent it.
It's my bathtub and shower. We
Wow.
use it.
Today you used it.
Yeah, this
Well, when
morning.
was the last one in there? Well, I'm just trying to help you figure this out.
Well, you do live in the Lakes of the Four Seasons, so there's plenty of water you can
Yeah,
shower
sure.
in.
It's literally in the name, Lake of the Four Seasons. Like, what's wrong with having a fountain in your home? As you own a roofing company, you probably should have a fountain in your home at this point.
This is why I have such a hard time like being with you guys all the time. Like it's just it's constant.
Well, I'm just saying, if you come to us with real problems, you want to get out of here.
No, for sure. You're right. Like, yeah. I showed all of you. I don't even know why I still do it. Like I still, after all these years, I still let you just talk, and I still want to try to explain myself to you.
Because everything is fake. Everything you tell us is like,
Yeah, you're always fake news, Angelo. Don't you know?
Yeah, just-
Fake news.
yeah.
You're fake news. You're fired.
Those Google images. Jeez, Mike.
You're fired.
Guy has one drink at lunch.
Actually, I didn't today.
I know.
It's a one-off.
I know. He was
Yeah.
bummed out. We went over to El Captain's, and he was upset.
Carlos.
Yeah. Yeah, he was upset that nobody wanted to drink his margarita where they put the little shark in there. Yeah.
Well, my drinking partner was too worried about his
I know.
his wallpaper
bathtub.
coming down.
That might be part of the reason why.
I didn't even know houses still had wallpaper.
Yeah,
It's decorative. My wife put it up on our front wall when we come in, and she was going to change it.
so now you're blaming sweet, innocent Lauren.
Lauren.
Lauren is the problem now. So this has gone from an insurance thing to a roofing thing now to Lauren.
Could be. I
So-
mean, we've been talking about remodeling the bathroom.
Oh, well, you didn't put that. All right, so you didn't open with that part. Now, if you would have opened that, then obviously it's Lauren.
Mhm.
She did this.
So we're gonna delete all this out, and you didn't hear this.
He's gonna need like 2 or
yeah.
3
we're not
weeks off
deleting
now.
any of this out.
Basically, insurance.
No.
Hey.
Lauren's getting to hear all of this. This is not getting erased. And honestly, she puts you through hell sometimes. We can talk about it. You had to install a fireplace in your living room. Like, for no reason. He already has a fireplace in his living room. Now he's got another one under the TV. It looks beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, he's got roofer people problems.
Yeah. You
2
should see
fireplaces.
His back deck. He had to redo his whole floor downstairs. He built his son like an awesome room downstairs. Like, he painted underneath his cabinets, did backsplash in his kitchen. Like, my man is hustling in that house.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it looks great. It literally looks like a house out of a home decorating
I
magazine.
literally was waiting for like that, and then the butt or like the backhand to come.
No, you're not. I mean, the fact that you hate your animals kind of bothers me, but that's more of like a you personal thing, you know? I know Lauren and the kids like those animals, but like you He's got a beautiful dog, Richard.
How the hell did you just go from we're trying
doesn't
to
like it.
interview Cortez and talk about
Well,
a PA company?
Well, you interrupted.
so
you interrupted
Tanner-
the podcast.
so try
to just shit on me.
trying to go back
And
to
we're just trying. I'm just trying to understand why you need to leave.
trying
A
to
little bit
Well, he
of
needs to
water.
walk away in the middle of it. He's sitting there answering his phone all during it.
So you trying to phone?
trying to go back to like the whole insurance claim.
No, I'm gonna
bad,
excuse
bad
myself.
craftsmanship is not warranted under the as a claim, so denied.
Hopefully everything works out.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much more for Mr. Cortez here. How about you,
No,
Elijah?
we could take off, but Mike, thanks for coming on here. And
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having
You know what we did do?
We're gonna get
We
him back
didn't
out
do
here.
actually. We forgot the helmet, so he could try it on.
Man.
I don't know whose big head did we have in there. It was really big. That
Eddie.
fit Eddie. Oh, it fit Eddie's head.
Yeah.
And your head's definitely
Bro,
not
if
as
you-
big as Eddie's.
Yeah, if your head doesn't fit in there and Eddie's did, dude,
I have a huge head.
You do, but just not the right one.
yeah, you're getting Jesus. You're gonna get flamed though if it doesn't.
It's not gonna fit.
It's gonna fit.
It's not gonna
Eddie's got a bigger head than him. I know we were supposed to put it in the middle of the table.
Yeah, we've not done our job.
Yeah, we've done a poor job, but that's why we're at the
This is our
beginning
first
stages.
time with the new stuff though. Like we were shooting in here with like a table, like a round table in here. It was like flimsy off the board, getting started up, and then we.
Well, this is nice. Like you guys said. Oh, he's back.
Oh, look, he really is trying to
He is
leave and go
back.
home.
Finish it off with this.
All right.
Later, guys. Let's
you got to take off your hat and your glasses.
Let's see.
You got to take
Get your glasses off. He does have a big head, though.
He does.
There you go.
There we go.
Look at that.
We'll continue the podcast like this. This is heavy.
Yeah, it's legit. Hang on, let me get a picture. Here.
It's like the weight of the insurance industry at your back, trying to make the carriers pay for claims, huh?
Exactly. This is heavy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Can you even see?
Yeah, I can see.
Can you?
Well, not without my glass. It's really blurry, but I can see you guys.
Yeah. You still speak then too? Like if we ask you questions, or you need to be able to see to answer questions.
All right, man. Well, it's been fun, dude. Yeah,
Thank you guys for
Yeah.
having me.
I think you did a great job. We'll have you back again.
Yeah,
I'm sure
we'll be-
multiple
Yeah,
times.
for sure.
100%.
For sure.
All right, bro.
All right.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Guys.